KGW's Nina Melhoff is live at City Hall, where they started gathering at 6 o'clock this evening. What's happening there now, Nina?
Well, Laurel, so far several speakers have been talking to about 36, we counted, anti-ICE protesters here in front of City Hall. They are protesting the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency. They are against Measure 105 that would get rid of Oregon's sanctuary status. They say they are rallying here against racial profiling, then will march through downtown and enter, quote, everyday buildings that do business with ICE. Now, we haven't gotten clarification of exactly what that means, especially at this hour with many buildings locked and closed, but we will be following them. You heard what Mayor Ted Wheeler said about not allowing any violence or blocked streets or bridges. So this coming Thursday, he plans to introduce an emergency ordinance at City Council about certain protests like these.
The ordinance is very specific to groups where we know they have a history of violence or a stated intent to come to Portland to commit acts of violence. Then we have the ability to take reasonable precautions. And that is what we're calling time, place, and manner restrictions.
Okay, back live here, you see quite a group of Portland police monitoring this from across the street here on Southwest 4th and Jefferson, just watching what's going on. So far, 2 city commissioners, though, not backing up that ordinance, and Mayor Ted Wheeler needs a unanimous vote to pass it as an emergency ordinance. So tonight, he says, police will enforce the law. They are watching social media and live feeds from here around downtown. We'll keep you updated on what happens. Back to you.
Police are down there. Nina, thank you for that report. We appreciate it.